Well, Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison is Republican from Texas, first elected back in 1993 and retiring this year. She has served in leadership positions and has also been an outspoken voice on issues ranging from the budget to defense. So let's bring her in now. Senator, fantastic to have you with us today.
We sure are going to miss you. One of the great moderates that's leaving Washington. You're among the great group of moderates that's leaving here.
Well, maybe you're even relieved to be leaving at this time, but nonetheless, how
I'm thinking of New Year's Eve here in Washington and thinking, you know, this is the time to exit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, to go out while things are getting a little messy over there. How hopeful are you feeling after the various headlines today about getting a deal done?
You know, I really am optimistic, and I realize that people are kind of getting entrenched, and we're seeing it on the Senate floor today. But I really believe that in the end, we are not going to let this happen. Now, it will take give on both sides, and right now, of course, there's posturing and not give, but I do believe that there is a bipartisan solution that will give each side something that they want and will be something that neither side loves. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, but at this point, though, assuming we have to have a deal by December 31, and there's every reason to believe that we can you guys can stop the clock and we go down the path a little further, you're probably only going to get a Band-Aid this time, aren't you? We're not going to get a grand bargain. Is there enough time for that?
No, Bill, there's not time for it, and it will be a patch. There's no question about that, which is one of the reasons that we're not going to like it. But I do think that it's important that working American families know that they are not going to have a bigger tax increase, and they just can't take it right now. And I hope that the majority leader and the president will come in at some of the things that the president has talked about. A $400,000 or $500,000 threshold is much more palatable than, say, $250,000. I'd like to see no threshold. I'd like to see no taxes on anyone. But I think that we have passed that time, and we're not going to win on that issue. So let's set a reasonable amount for people living all over the country, including high expense areas. Secondly, I'm hoping there is something on entitlement reform. That's what the Republicans have been looking for from the beginning, because those are the real cuts that we can see, or the real reforms that we can see that will keep these entitlements stable and yet give us some relief on the deficit. I hope that we can do that, but you know, that may be getting too far down the road. We've got to do a patch.
It's got to be dealt with at some time down the road, though. Do you feel critical of Speaker Boehner? Do you feel he's exhausted his options at this point?
You know, I thought Speaker Boehner made a very good effort. I think that his proposal was very, very good. It did walk away from not taxing anyone, which was our position and is our position. But he gave on that and kept all the other things in place, which people aren't talking about. It would have kept the marriage tax penalty relief. It would have kept the child tax credit. It would have kept AMT relief. All those things that would become permanent law would have been so helpful, and that was in the Plan B that John Boehner was trying to get the members to vote for. So I think he was making a valiant effort. Now we're in a position where I think we're going to have to get something that can get Democratic votes on the House side and Republican votes on the Senate side.
You know, the game plan seems to be to get some sort of comprehensive tax reform next year sometime. We keep hearing that in both the House and the Senate. But as I mentioned, with moderates like yourself, like Olympia Snowe, like Dick Lugar, like Joe Lieberman, and on, leaving Washington at this point, is it possible with the new Congress next year to get some comprehensive tax reform when it has been impossible to do so for the last 30, 40 years?
You know, I hope so, and I think so, but it will have to be bipartisan, because we don't control but one House, and the Democrats control one House and the presidency. We can't get everything we want. I am a don't raise taxes on anybody Republican.
But you're willing to compromise on that, though, right?
Well, I certainly would rather have something somewhat lower than nothing and try to see if we can get the Democrats to come up some from 250, which is, that's 2 college professors that would start getting hit there. And to be able to give the AMT relief and the marriage penalty, child tax credit, even estate tax relief for farmers and ranchers. Those are all things that affect everyone in this country, and I'm hoping that they will do the real reforms, including entitlement reforms. If you don't have entitlement reforms, you're not going to have a long-term solution.
Absolutely. Some big, long-term structural issues facing this economy. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Thank you, Senator.
We appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mandy and Bill. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Well, we're going over that proverbial